Hi, this is Alex with Fourandhalf. Today we're going to talk about using Google Adwords to grow your property management business. Specifically, get more management contracts. So Google Adwords, or also known as Google Pay-Per-Click, essentially is a system where you bid on a specific search keywords that will go in front of a specific type of client that you're trying to attract. For example, Las Vegas property management is, if you're in Las Vegas and you run a property management shop, this is the kind of searcher you want to attract to your website or landing page. We'll talk about landing pages in just a second. So buckle in. By the end of this video, you should know how to use Google AdWords, why to use Google AdWords, and when to use Google AdWords. Okay, first of all, first concern that we always hear is cost versus results. You know, Google AdWords got much more expensive over time as there's more competition. So what we've seen from our experience managing campaigns for multiple property management companies is the average acquisition cost. In other words, how much money you need to spend before you get a house, one house under management, is anywhere from $200 to $500. So in other words, you need to spend on average about $300 per client, right? Let me ask you a question. If your management contract value, if the value of each client is about $3,100, basically you're talking about 3 years average, they're going to stay with you, management fees, rent up, lease up fees and such. Altogether, we figured out the customer value for you is about $3,100. So would you spend $300 to acquire $3,100 worth of revenue? Well, the question is absolutely, that makes sense. So financially, mathematically, the numbers work out. You need to spend that much money with Google to get one home, and that's on average. You know, sometimes you get a owner with 10 houses, and sometimes you get 3, leads that are not qualified to work with you. But end of the day, that's the number you can kind of base your estimates on. Now, quality leads versus click-through ratio. So this is where the campaign, professionally managed campaign, will outshine any self-managed campaign. And here's the reason. Click-through ratio is essentially the quality of your ad. This is how Google establishes the quality of your ad, when to show it, how often to show it, and things of that sort. In other words, between the number of impressions, or how many times they have to show the ad, and number of times people click on it, determines your click-through ratio. Problem is, when you using Google AdWords, you want to eliminate as many distractions as possible, and by distractions in our case, I mean tenant searches. So let me give you an example. When somebody searches for Las Vegas rental homes, that would be a tenant searching for that kind of a term, most likely, right? But if you look at Las Vegas rental management, that would probably be an owner looking for it. So for a campaign to be effective, you need to consistently weed this out, and because Google does broad matches. So if you tell Google, I want to bid on Las Vegas property management, well, they're going to do a broad match, and then they're actually going to charge you for some search terms like this. So consistent kind of weeding out of the campaign is really the key to get it effective and get it at that rate or lower. Okay, also some tips and tricks. Number one, Google 800 number. You get it for free. It's associated with your ad, and what happens is you can track the number of phone calls. Not only the clicks, but number of phone calls you received. Handy feature. Tip number 2, special offer. Have some kind of special offer, first month free, or half off the lease-up fee, or whatever it is, free consultation. You need a special offer so you can track the results. When people call you on the phone, and they're going to mention, hey, I want to get my month free, you can attach the results to the Google AdWords campaign. Landing page. Well, that's the most common mistake. When you advertise, you better take these guys who click on your ad onto a specific landing page that describes what you do, has a video, that's very, very effective, has a contact form, and a clearly displayed phone number, as well as some features and what you guys offer to your client. Now, last thing, who's on top? So the way Google determines whose ad shows up on top would be through various metrics like click-through rate, relevancy of the ad, in other words, the keywords. So if, for example, you're looking for Las Vegas property management, then your ad actually better say that within the ad itself. So there's various different ways Google determines who's on top, but mostly it's going to be, unless you want to overbid and pay more than everybody else, longevity is important as well. So if your campaign is running consistently, you will show up more and more on top. Now, our recommendation is to use Google Adwords sparingly, kind of like as a patch, right? So let's say this month you're not meeting your sales goals. Well, you can turn on the AdWords campaign, spend $200, $300, $400, $500, and get a couple of the leads, right? Get a couple of new homes under management. That is a great way to use it. We have customers that spend, thousands of dollars every month and book a lot of business through Google AdWords. But again, it's up to you, and hopefully this was useful. If you have any questions, give us a call. Until next time, thanks for watching.